Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 74th Rome Total War Brotherhood battle that I've put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of a Brotherhood member Spartan Leonidas, who has bought the Rome SPQR faction. And my other teammate is Speedstar125, Brotherhood member Speedstar125, and he's bought the Rome SPQR faction. And myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Greek Cities faction. So there's our Brotherhood 3v3 team, full of experience, and I think it should be a great battle to watch. I thought at this stage of the battle I'd pause the game so you could have a look at my old Greek Cities army. Sometimes I'm asked why my name is Spartan Commander, and I very rarely use Spartans. And the reason for that is that when Rome Total War first came out in September 2004, for the first 3 months of the game I only played with the Greek Cities faction, hence my name Spartan Commander. And this is a very, very old army from years and years ago that I've kind of dusted off to bring out into the modern battlefield of today. As you can see, my army this old army consists of Spartans. And if you notice, I've bought the cheap archers. I haven't bought the Cretan archers. And my guess is the reason I did that was so that I could put a little more upgrade onto the Spartans. So that's my old army. Let's see how well it does in the modern era. And here is the other team. We have well-known well-known RTW player Atta, who was brought to the Egypt faction. We have RTW player Parker, who was brought to the Rome Brutii faction. And we have RTW player Zerk, who was brought to the Rome Scipio faction. Very often good players call themselves different names sometimes when they play RTW, and I think maybe Zerk and Parker may well be well-known players who have just changed their name for this game. So that's the other team there. Should be an interesting battle to watch. Hope you enjoy it. At this early stage of the battle, I decided to pause the game here to let you take stock of what we're going to do here. Being Greek Cities, I want to be extremely aggressive with my Greek Cities army, and if you notice, I'm running them straight towards Egypt. Now Atta knows that his Egypt pikemen wouldn't stand against my Spartans, so he's going to pull back seeing me charge towards him. Obviously his archers will still be shooting at me as I'm running forward, so I'm going to lose some casualties from his archers as I run forward. But the main plan for me is to force his Egypt infantry back, and this will then expose his allies' flank. If you notice here that Speedstar125 is going to attack extremely aggressively to the enemy Brutii army there, and so while he's engaged with the Brutii army, as I force the Egypt army back, I then will attack the flank of Brutii. Let's see how it goes. Right, now as you can see at this stage, I'm running my Greek Cities army directly towards the Egyptian army, hoping to make them maybe pull off to the left a little bit, so that it will leave his Brutii ally with an exposed flank there. If you notice, Speedstar is racing in to attack the Brutii, the enemy Brutii army there, and the plan was that Spartan Leonidas is going to hold the Scipio army on the other flank as well. As you see, the plan's starting to work. The Egyptian army is pulling away to the left, exposing his allies' flank there. Now if I move right now with my Greek Cities army, I can form kind of a wedge between the enemy Egyptian army and its Brutii ally there. As you see, I'm pulling over to the right there, and as you can see, the enemy Brutii flank now is exposed. If you notice now that Speedstar with his SPQR Roman army are now attacking the Brutii army extremely aggressively. If you notice, I've pulled a pilot shield unit in front of my flank there to take up any pilots that might be thrown by the Brutii army against my Spartans. Now if I send a couple of units maybe 2 or 3 of my Spartan units to attack the enemy Brutii on the flank, that will help Speedstar's attack. If you notice, Speedstar's got all his infantry engaged with those with the enemy Brutii now. If you notice, the Egypt army has pulled round to the left, to my left flank now. And there can you see Speedstar's cavalry charging in? That's a massive cavalry hit into engaged enemy troops. He could cause a mass rout there if it hits just right. There you go, and you can see a lot of the enemy Brutii infantry are now routing there due to that massive cavalry attack. Plus I've got Spartan units attacking on that flank as well. What we're going to have to watch out for is all those Egyptian chariots there that I'm sure will be very well upgraded, and we'll have to be very, very aware of those chariots. As you can see, Speedstar charging in with another massive cavalry attack, hoping to rout what's left of that Brutii infantry. And you see, bang! As his cavalry hits, he routs that cavalry. But can you see the chariots coming in behind him now? Now with the chariots hitting him in the rear, as you know, chariots have got a scare factor, so they could actually cause a mass rout here if we're not careful. And as you can see, there's enemy Scipio cavalry just gone into the back of Speedstar as well. So Speedstar must have suffered a lot of casualty. You can see a lot of his units starting to rout now due to that chariot and cavalry hit into the rear.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us.
As you saw then, the Egyptian general just been killed, so that will cause a morale drop in amongst his troops there. As you can see, those Spartan units of mine are still advancing against the Brutii infantry there. But there's another Brutii cavalry attack going in, and bang! Straight into Speedstar's infantry there. As you can see, I'm putting some of my Spartan units up against the Egyptian pike units there now. And there's a bit of an overall picture of what's happening in the centre and on our flank there. Over on the far right, you'll see that Leonidas is battling hard with the enemy SPQR infantry over there on the right. But in the centre here, you can see that I've just got a few Spartan units there that are still managing to attack and hold there in the centre. So and there's some of Speedstar's units still there as well. If you notice, Leonidas is now charging in some of his infantry into the back of the Brutii infantry there, and my guess is this could cause a rout as his infantry hit. And so that Brutii infantry now are caught between my pikes and the Leonidas' SPQR infantry. And here we have my Spartan units now fighting against the Egyptian pikemen there.
The enemy general flees.
And there's the enemy Brutii general just been killed there. So it looks to me like we've managed to get the upper hand here in the centre of the battlefield. Meanwhile, over on our far right, you'll see that Spartan Leonidas' SPQ arm seems to have lost quite a few units there, and looks like he's under quite a lot of pressure. So what we need to do now is to run our victorious troops from the centre over to help Spartan Leonidas here on our right flank. Meanwhile, back with my Spartans fighting the Egyptians, it looks like it looks like the Spartans have got the upper hand there, and those Egyptian pikemen were routed there. As you can see now, I'm running my Spartans, some of my Spartan units over here to help my teammate Spartan Leonidas, as the enemy Roman Scipii troops here on our right seem to have kind of gained the upper hand here on the right. But I'm just hoping that when my Spartans get involved, they'll be able to to assist Leonidas here on our right. If you notice any new players there, notice how when you run Spartans with the pikes up, you actually can run them. For any new players watching, of course, if you've got the pikes down, they won't run, they only walk. So it's a good strategy to up pikes, run to where you want them to fight, and then just before you engage the enemy, put your pikes down and then engage. Especially when you're facing them head on. If you notice, my Spartans are advancing steadily into the enemy Scipii infantry there. And if you notice, Speed Star and Leonidas are taking infantry units round the back and the flank of the enemy Scipii infantry there, which is a good tactic. But if you notice here, this is why we've said in other battle videos, Roman generals don't like fighting pike units head on, and especially don't like fighting Spartans head on with Roman troops. And if you notice there, the pressure of my Spartans just steadily advancing into that enemy Scipii infantry is just that the pressure on them has just kind of caused them to rout there against the Greek city units there.
They are not soldiers, only frightened rabbits.
And I think that's the final enemy units just routed there. I can see there's a couple of Brutii cavalry still left, but I think our team seems to have won this battle. And there's a Brutii cavalry charging in, and my guess is that they will rout pretty quick. Yeah, and they routed there. So that was a great battle to be in there. As you can see, the dead on the battlefield, you can see is spread all over the battlefield. So this was quite a spread out battle.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men
and there you are. There's a thick lot of dead there. There you go. Hope you enjoyed the battle. I'd just like to say very well played to everybody in the battle. It was nice to see that very old, ancient Greek cities army of mine, how well it did against modern players there. As I say, I thought the other team played very well. Lots of good moves, lots of good attacks, and some good strategy there. And really well played to Speedstar for his aggressive attack. Reminded me of Brotherhood member Kendi and Pompey's type of attack, that was. And very well done to Spartan Leonidas as well. He held well on the right while we managed to deal with the rest of the forces. Spartan Commander saying, hope you enjoyed the battle and bye for now.